Hey guys, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm joined by my sister Alex.
Hi guys.
And we are going to be asking questions and discussing some things about the upcoming season of Stranger Things. So I think this is your first time ever on my channel.
This is my first time on YouTube.
And your last.
Oh, let me just...
See ya. I'm glad that you were able to be here today because Alex is also a fan of Stranger Things, and I just thought that she would be a really good person
Alex
to
is a fan of Stranger Things.
ask some questions and discuss what we think is going to happen, or just some overall questions we have, I guess, about the upcoming season of Stranger Things, which comes out a week from today. So one thing that I am really curious about is to know, and some of these we have talked about beforehand, just in general, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, especially since Stranger Things is coming out next week. One of the things I've been curious about is, are the Wheelers, meaning Ted and Karen, and specifically Mrs. Wheeler, are they going to find out what's been going on the past several years or several seasons of the TV show?
They don't know, like, they're just completely
oblivious to what's been going on.
Like how?
Kind of. I mean, in the first season, the government did come to their door and they were like, hey, if you see this little girl, stay away, meaning 11.
That was literally it. But then...
Right.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, if anything, I think Ted, who is just kind of oblivious in and of itself of things, I think he will stay oblivious. I'm more curious if Mrs. Wheeler is going to find out what's been going on.
Maybe.
But anyway, it's like, okay, so remember in season 1, they came to the house and they're like, if you see this little girl, meaning 11, like,
let us know.
Let us know, she's armed and dangerous.
Right.
But then in the next seasons, like 11, who is dating Mike, has been hanging out at their house.
Yeah.
So did they not ever see a picture of 11? Because
this girl,
wouldn't it be weird if you're like, hey, you remind me of the little girl that the government showed us that we were supposed to watch out for? Anyway, bottom line, because I think Mrs. Wheeler seems a little more intuitive about things, like...
She's just more there.
Right.
Than Ted. Like
when she was like talking to Nancy when they were working at the newspaper, and they like had that heart-to-heart conversation in the kitchen. She just like seems more there, even though that wasn't about...
That scene.
I do too. Even though that wasn't about like...
It was just
the upside down. Yeah. But it just... I could see her like finding out.
Maybe that was a, what's it called?
Like foreshadowing?
Yeah, maybe that was a foreshadow to how like she's gonna be in the next season and like no.
Joyce knows. Hopper knows. There are other adults that know. Lucas's parents don't. We've never really seen them.
Have we? No.
Other than just a few like passing through scenes. We've never like actually. So like Wheelers are the only involved parents in the show, written in parents in the show, main character parents, I guess I should say, that don't know what's going on. So that's a big question of mine.
So for me, I was thinking about this the other day. I was just like, I wonder how Mike and 11 will reunite again, because they already have like lost each other once. So I'm just wondering how that'll all play out in the next season. I wonder if they will focus on their romantic relationship as much.
Since Joyce and the Byers in general and 11 are living in California, it's hinted at this in the trailer that obviously there's going to be a reunification of people. But I'm just curious, like, how are we going to...
How are they going to do it? How are they going to write it into the storyline, especially?
And is the Upside Down going to be in California, or are they going to have to travel back to Hawkins, which kind of sounds like in the trailer, and that's where it's based?
Remember at the end of the season, and like they're at like that beach, and like the sky is like red or whatever, and like they're at a beach. It's a flashback to somebody's vacation.
was Billy.
Billy, right?
Billy, when he was young in California, where they were from.
So maybe that's gonna be a thing, because remember there was like a whole episode I remember where like seeing that, and it looked creepy because like they were like on this.
It's going
big
back into like
beach.
Billy's memories.
Yeah.
When he was little
so
in
what
California.
if that beach is like where everyone is living now?
Could
and it like somehow
connects.
Yeah, and I also want to know why is Billy like special?
Was he chosen for a reason?
And is he gonna come back? Is he gonna like pop out the ground?
Did he just happen to be driving by the steel mill?
And his sister happens to be dating someone who's friends with like 11.
So
in her friend group or whatever.
So that's a good question. How is it the friend group in general going to be reunited? Because there's some living in Hawkins still, and there's a group living in California, and there's going to be new characters. How are they going to play into what's going on both in Hawkins and in California?
So another thing that we want to discuss was Hopper being at the Russian
probably a prison or camp or whatever
it might be. How is he going to get his way out of there? Probably fight his way out of there because it's Hopper.
It's Hopper.
But I'm just wondering how that's going to go down. How is he going to reunite with Joyce and Murray? Because Murray is one of my favorite characters. He is so funny. Him and Hopper together are honestly just
I like the just a little bit of like subtle comedy through the show.
Yeah. I'm just wondering
how is he going to get back to the U.S. or how are they going to get to Russia?
And there's got to be some type of portal thing. Because how'd they get?
Oh, definitely.
How'd they get Hopper out of there so fast? How did he not know? He totally blacked out and just woke up. There's no way that there was not some paranormal stuff going on.
Well, in the beginning of season 3, they were trying to blow that hole through the wall in Russia, which must have cracked open this portal enough that when at the mall the thing exploded, he got sucked into whatever and transported to this Soviet camp that he's at. I'm assuming we know they're going to reunite because one of the, wasn't even a video ad, it was just an ad I saw on Instagram, just a picture. And there was a couple of different ones that were the same but with different characters, and one was like Murray on this side and Joyce on this side and Hopper here. So just kind of hint or something like that, or the three of them were walking together. I can't exactly remember what it looked like, but they were all in the same picture together at least. Yeah. So you kind of have to assume that they're going to
and there's no way that
reunite.
They wouldn't.
Right.
There's no way.
That's
also,
just a trio.
Are Hopper and Joyce ever going to actually become a thing? Because there has been so many hints, like so many, and then she stands him up talking to the nerdy science teacher, which, I mean, honestly.
Well, they were going to go on a date. They obviously love each other. She cried at the end when he presumably died. Remember, they were going to go, they were sitting there talking, and one of them was like, when all this is over, let's go on a date, when they were dressed up as soldiers.
And once they find out that, like, I feel like if she finds out that Hopper is alive, she's like gonna confess her love for him.
Oh, I think something's gonna have to happen.
Or he will. We're hoping Hopper stays alive though. He really cannot die.
Oh, he can't die. Hopper can't die.
He literally can't die. Like
it's just not possible. He can't die.
He can't.
He hasn't so far. He's in Russia. He hasn't died. We thought he was dead. So one of the questions, another question that I have is more. Not even having to do with the show itself, but like reality with COVID and the fact that the last season of Stranger Things came out July of 2019.
And it is now
almost
May of 2022.
3 years later. You know, they started filming and then COVID happened and then they were on break for a long time. So everybody's going to be 2 or 3 years older in reality than they were when they filmed the last season. So are we going to pick this up
3 years ahead?
3 years ahead because it was 1985. Are we going to pick this up in 86 or are we jumping ahead
88.
to 87, 88? That's what I'm curious to know.
And will we get into the 90s by the end of the series?
And that was more a question I had when I didn't know when Stranger Things was going to end, which will be the next season, season 5, it's going to end. So I was curious to know would Stranger Things reach the 90s? And this is more of a question for next season when the show is nearing its end. Are we going to have flash forwards into the future about when this whole big thing with the upside down ends, presumably, when the show ends? Are we going to see their lives in the future?
Or is it
and
just
how it's
gonna
turned
be,
out?
Is it just going to be one big like cliffhanger for everyone to just like, you
Could
know?
be. So, a question that I have, which is probably a very over-analytical question of mine. I'm a very realistic person, you know this. So,
Vouch for that.
I like when things are realistic, and so one of the questions I have is just the mall in general. Because
He's so stuck on this, you guys.
I am. Because, okay, at this time, malls were opening. That was the 70s and 80s were the time of malls. And so you had all these stores moving from these little downtown areas. They were moving to the mall.
Yep.
And so they even talked about this in Stranger Things Season 3. Nancy brings it up at the newspaper office about doing a story about how many stores downtown
Closed.
Hawkins have closed since the mall opened. So that's one piece. That was a very realistic thing. That happened a lot of places where a mall opened. Sears, even like the big stores like Sears and Penny's, moved from downtowns to the mall. So here we've got this mall in Hawkins that just opened, essentially. You have what they called a fire that killed all these people and Hopper, because they can't say that there was this secret Russian government lab underneath the mall. So you have this fire that destroys the mall, and presumably it's closed, okay? That aside, it's been destroyed by this giant supernatural monster. In reality, let's say a mall opens at this time, okay? And there's a fire that closes the mall. It's not gonna be like, okay, we did the mall thing, all the stores can move back downtown now. No, that's just not what would happen. They would rebuild or fix the mall and it would reopen, right?
Yep.
That's just what would happen. So in this case, obviously there's this secret Russian lab underneath the mall that the United States government isn't just going to be like, okay, we're handing the mall back over to this community now.
They're
because
going to control it somehow.
Right, they
Something
have to
is
keep
gonna
their
go down.
eyes on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like, are they just going to be like, oh, that's it for the mall, Starcourt Mall is just closed, because in reality that wouldn't happen. They would fix the mall and the stores would open. So I'm just curious how they're going to write that, if they're going to bring it up. And if they don't bring it up at all, I'm going to be mad, because
Imagine they just like forget about
they
it.
just
Like,
don't,
it's not a
right,
part
that's
of the
what
storyline.
I feel like is going to happen.
Yeah.
They're just going to like leave it at that, and we're not going to hear about the mall anymore.
Probably. We'll
I just feel like not
We'll just
writing it into
see.
the show, not even being centered at the mall, but just a little clip, even if it's somebody reading a newspaper and the headline is like, mall expected to open next month, or something like that, so that there's some conclusion, instead of like, oh, we're just going to pretend like it didn't exist at all in the show and move on. I wouldn't like that. That would drive me nuts. Little continuity errors like that I can't stand.
Oh my gosh, me either.
And I feel like
Very
the show
annoying.
has been pretty good about that for the most part, like consistency. And that's just me being
Being
realistic about it and not having to do with the show
Absolutely
whatsoever.
realistic.
I like Steve's character
More.
now.
Oh, same. Love Steve.
He's
not-
really like changed.
He's not a jerk.
He's calmed down a lot since high school. You know?
The character progression, bro.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
proud.
Exactly. I like Steve now more than I did.
Which I'm glad that the writers like
made him less of a
made
jerk.
him less of a jerk, because I feel like he had potential to be a really good character, and,
And
now
a
he
likable
is.
person.
Yeah, right. And now he is. Now he's good.
Mama Steve. I hope Steve is able to find somebody.
Someone that isn't Dustin.
Yeah. A love interest.
And maybe a friend like his age.
Because
again.
everybody else has a significant other.
And everyone.
Except for Will. Poor Will.
Let's talk about Will.
I feel like Will is still like the outcast, the underdog.
Somehow.
Why? He's the one.
How did he not become like of utmost importance after like he went
Everything several times he's went through. Each season has been
literally, and no
something.
one is appreciating him. Justice for Will, guys.
Will, come on! I feel bad for the guy. He's
I feel
taken the dump of everything, And I still feel like he's overlooked. Poor Will. So I'm really excited for this season of
We got
Stranger
a
Things.
week.
1 week from today, it comes
guys.
out. 3 years worth of waiting
Literally.
for this season.
Why does it not feel that long also?
Because COVID happened and the past 2 years were just kind of a blip in the timeline. I'm really excited. I'm excited to have something to watch. I'm curious how many episodes are going to be in this season since they're splitting it in 2. I know
Will
the
it
season.
be more or will it be way less?
I think it's supposed to be more. I think I remember seeing someplace that this was supposed to have more episodes, and that's why they were splitting it up.
I see.
So that you could watch however many episodes are going to be in part 1, and then a month or so later be able to watch a good amount of episodes in part 2. So that I'm excited for, to have more episodes. This or anything in general, right? Like get to the end of a season or a TV show,
sad.
now I'm like,
I get so sad.
now what? I don't want to watch anything.
I have like attachment issues
Yes.
with TV shows.
You grow attached to the show and the characters, but then that just
Definitely.
means we're closer to the show being over in its entirety, and I'm not looking forward to that because I like the show, and obviously, given the content you see on my channel, I like that era, and I like how well they've portrayed that era.
They have. It's
Because-
written really well.
yes.
It's written really well.
And it's I think very realistic, and they've done an accurate job at portraying the 80s, and not all shows do that. Like some shows try to like stereotype the 80s,
Yeah.
and I like that this, I know they've thrown a couple of jokes
It's an
in there, like
accurate representation.
Farrah Fawcett's hairspray, like that was just like a joke in there, but right, accurate representation
Mostly
of the 80s,
accurate.
I feel like.
Yeah. This was so fun.
I'm glad that you were finally on my channel.
Me too. I'm
Got
glad.
to have my sister on and just kind of discuss.
A good topic.
If you have any questions or discussion points that you have curiosity about for the upcoming Stranger Things season, comment below. Let us know, because I'm curious to see what other people are thinking. Who knows? Maybe we'll be back after to discuss
Maybe we
what
will.
did happen.
A little review of the show.
And see if any of our questions that we asked today
Yeah.
were answered.
Make sure to smash that like button.
That is the cringiest thing I've ever heard. I've never said
I'm just
that
trying to
before
fit in
my
here,
life.
okay? But actually, guys, subscribe to my brother.
We finally
Subscribe,
hit 100
like,
subscribers.
comment, share.
I just wanted to thank you guys because this comes after what my last vlog was about, that this channel surpassed the amount of views we did in all of 2021 in just 3 months. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Well, okay. Clap on, clap off, the clapper. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.